Welcome to Pyramid Parent Talk. I'm Lynn Farlow.
And I'm Karen Harper Royal.
We're parents with Pyramid Community Parent Resource Center, providing information and support to parents of children with special needs in New Orleans. Pyramid Community Parent Resource Center provides one-to-one assistance, workshops on special education law, positive behavior support, and advocacy skills. You can reach us on the web at www.pyramidparentcenter.org, on Twitter at Pyramid CPRC, and on Facebook at Pyramid Community Parent Resource Center, or call our helpline at 504-899-1505. Today we will be discussing School Justice Week, which will take place Tuesday, October 22nd through the 24th. If you want to join the discussion, please call us at 504-260-9265. So, Karen, for School Justice Week, so this is 3 days of activities, and I've noticed on the first day, Karen, Kristen Burris is the keynote. You want to tell the listeners about what she's going to talk about and what else is going on for the first day?
Well, I just want to back it up a minute. With School Justice Week, we realize that there are so many injustices going on in our public schools, in the name of school reform. And, in fact, right before I came here, I got a call from a parent whose child is at one of the charter schools that they say is doing really well. And, parents need those steps to take to try to resolve some of the injustices that are going on with their children. So the New Orleans Education Equity Roundtable decided to spend some time focusing on School Justice Week and on justice in the public school system. And it's not just for parents, it's for community members, teachers, anybody who wants to get involved with public education in New Orleans.
So I guess the first thing really we should say is where will it be? Where will it be held?
It's going to be at 2475 Canal Street in the first floor conference room from 6 until 8 p.m. each evening, October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And as you said, Kristen Burris, who is the assistant professor in the Department of Education Policy Studies at Georgia State University, she's going to be there the first night. Kristen has done a lot of research on what's going on in New Orleans education system in post-Katrina New Orleans. And she recently had a paper that had been published by the Berkeley Review talking about the public education system in New Orleans. And so her paper she's going to talk a little bit about her paper, kind of revealing just what's behind education reform in New Orleans. And on that first night, we really want to ask the question, what are the lessons learned? Our schools have been under state control, the majority of them, for 8 years now. What are the lessons learned in all of this time? How do we use this to make sure that there is educational justice for all children? So that first night we will definitely have Kristen. And on that first night, in addition to Kristen, we're going to be rolling out a video that we're producing, the New Orleans Education Equity Roundtable, that kind of talks about how we got here. Everybody knows about Act 35. Well, most people know that there was something called Act 35, but there were a series of events that led up to Act 35 happening. So there's going to be a video that's kind of going to give you kind of a takeover 101 lesson about how we got here. It's a little short video, and you'll hear from several people who were involved in the public school system back in 2005 in those weeks that led up to the passage of Act 35. So that's going to be shown on that first night.
And how long is that video?
The video is just a little 5-6 minute video that talks about how we got here. And also on the first night, we really want to hear from parents and the community about the kinds of things that they have concerns about in this new New Orleans public school system. So, you and I, of course, we hear about some of these things all the time in our work at Pyramid, around special education. But there are people who have some concerns about busing, children on the bus early in the morning. There are people who are concerned about neighborhood schools, special education, the suspensions and expulsions, various things. But we will be collecting information from parents and community members and educators, anybody who's interested in having a voice in where do we go from here. We really would like them to come out each night if possible, because each night it has a specific focus. But on that first night, we will be collecting information. If we've already identified your area of concern, definitely let us know that that is your area of concern, or you can fill out a card letting us know what you're concerned about, and it may be something an organization in New Orleans is already focused on, and maybe we can put you in touch with that organization, or it may be something some people need to come together to focus on. So the first night we have Kristen Burris as our keynote speaker. We have the video, and we'll be collecting information about people's areas of concern with this new New Orleans public schools.
Okay, so on the second night, I noticed that y'all will be talking about the parent toolbox.
Yes.
So what's that?
Well, just as I was saying, right before I came here, I got that call from that parent, and I was able to give her some next steps. At Pyramid, we talk about your next steps. So I was able to, in fact, I text her particular charter school is a network of charter schools, and I found that they had a office, like a central office. So I was able to text to that parent the central office phone number. So that second night we'll have the Urban League there. They have a booklet that helps parents understand what their rights are. We're going to talk to parents about some tips and tools for choosing a school. What kind of information do you really need to consider when choosing a school? We do that at Pyramid around special education issues, and we'll say a little bit about if you have a child with special needs, what you need to know. But the Urban League has a booklet also about how to choose a high school.
Okay.
We'll have the Southern Poverty Law Center there on that second night talking about school discipline. And because, there's some discipline issues, the Juvenile Justice Project is also going to be involved, and they may talk a little bit about discipline. And, again, parents will be able to connect up with these organizations. That is one of the most important things about that parent toolbox night. Parents can come and talk about the kinds of problems they're experiencing and connect with people who can give them information and advice on how to get those problems solved. The Southern Poverty Law Center's lawsuit is still in process. If there are some egregious special education issues, they can certainly meet some of the attorneys from the Southern Poverty Law Center and be in touch with them so that they can possibly become a party to that lawsuit. So it's really going to be a good night to be real supportive of parents, although we would love parents to be there every single night, because it's really good to get a good overview of what's going on, how we got there, who's involved with trying to right some of the wrongs or fix some of the problems, because at the end of the day, we all want a high-quality public education for all of the children in this city. So we want to focus on where there are some injustices so that we can get some educational justice for the children.
Absolutely. So on night 2, they'll have great resources for parents. So we hope that you come out. So on the third day, what's happening on the third day? I see it has Justice for All, a call to action.
Yes, our third day, we're calling it Justice for All, a call to action, because oftentimes people are so focused on solving their own problems. The calls we get, parents, they just want to get the school to start following the IEP, or they just want to get the school to stop putting their child out of school. So they're really focused on their own children, but they're not really cognizant of the fact that this is going on for a lot of children in this city. When I look at, it seems like some poor little child is getting shot every day in this city, or, young people are getting involved with crime, and, school isn't working for a lot of children in this city, and children are getting caught in a crossfire for all kinds of crazy things. And so, it's not enough just to make it work for your child. Your child has to live in a world with children for whom school is not working. So we want to move from just focus on our own issues to looking at how can we work collectively with others to help solve some of the problems where we find children falling through the cracks. And so we'll have even more community organizations involved. Southern Poverty Law Center is going to be back on that same night. JJPL, the Juvenile Justice Project of Louisiana, Pyramid Community Parent Resource Center, VELA from out New Orleans East, the Vietnamese Young Leaders Association, and the New Teachers Roundtable, because we know that there are lots of new teachers in New Orleans who have been thrust into situations for which, a lot of them just are not really prepared. And
so with that, you're expecting to have new teachers come out and
talk?
I
certainly hope. I hope they will come out and talk about, how they can connect with some of these community organizations also to try to just get justice for the children. When these young teachers are put into situations that they're not prepared to deal with, they're facing an injustice themselves because they're getting overwhelmed, and many of them have literally walked off the job at lunchtime. And more of these teachers are speaking out about the injustices they have faced in our public school system. I was reading an article recently by a teacher who was a former teacher at a KIPP school, and this is what she wrote on her blog. She said, "This is the truth." She talked about charter schools. She says they aren't working like society has been led to believe they are. There are a variety of problems with the country's charter schools, including these: a lack of oversight, exploitation of teachers, non-compliance with federal law as it pertains to students with disability, fiscal irresponsibility, hiring practices. So this is a teacher from one of the charter schools here in New Orleans who faced some of her own injustice when she found that she had a serious health issue, and that charter school just summarily fired her, and so, again, teachers are finding that there are injustices for them. A lot of these young people, they've come to New Orleans. They really wanted to help out. And many of them are being faced with having to work, 12, 14-hour days.
Have y'all heard from teachers that plan to attend?
We have not. Today we're going to start the registration process. People can call our school justice line to register to attend. So this is the first time we're kind of rolling out the how can you come to School Justice Week. Our seating is very limited, so we do need people to give us a call on the school justice line, and that school justice line phone number is 504 365-3006, and leave your name, phone number, and if you have an email address. So we'll begin to see who we have coming. I hope that we get a good cross-section of parents, community members, and teachers, and I'm hoping that we'll get lots of new faces. We have a good number of people already involved in trying to right some of the injustices. But we know that, especially from the calls we've been getting on the school justice line, that...
So why don't you talk about some of those calls?
Absolutely. Some of the calls we've been getting, it's anywhere from... It was kind of sad. There was one person who felt that he didn't get the kind of education he should have gotten like 25 years ago. I've had fired teachers call complaining how difficult it is for them to get a job. Of course, we've had parents with special education issues, which, of course, we just kind of refer those to Pyramid. Had one parent who needed, her child was in one of the voucher schools, and she was trying to figure, it wasn't working out. And she was trying to figure out, what do I do next? And so I brought her one of the parents' guides to public schools, because I drive around with a box of those in my car because I'm always giving them out to parents. And so, she lived in the East. I drove out to the East and brought her one of those. So when we get a call in, it depends on what the situation is. If it's a situation where a parent just needs some help, or people need information. Sometimes people want to be put in touch with the media because they're tired of the situation that they're in and they want some media attention. And because I know I get a lot of requests from media about wanting parents to be in a story. In fact, if there's anybody out there who is dealing with the schools and they have a child whose needs are not being met, and that child has a mental disability, I have a couple of members of the press who would love to interview some families who are having trouble getting schools to provide the right resources for a child with a mental disability. The media has called on the school justice line. I had a newspaper contact us wanting to find out some information about, the kinds of problems that are going on in the public school system. And, the school justice line we have a radio commercial that's run on WBOK where we have a couple of parents talking about a child not meeting the eligibility for TOPS. Many parents have been sold the idea that these schools will get a child to and through college. But
yet
when you have valedictorians or salutatorians not meeting eligibility for top scholarships in Louisiana, how true can it be? And so we value those stories because the data doesn't tell the full story in the way that Louisiana is reporting data. You can't trust the data. But who can argue with the truth of what a parent or a student is going through in our schools? So we tell parents, your stories matter. In order to pull back the curtain on the injustices that are being done in New Orleans public schools in the name of reform, we need your stories so that we can get those stories out there. Some of those stories will appear. We're going to do a few more videos. Some of those stories will appear in videos. We have connected people, again, to news media. And, again, so if you have a situation where a child has a mental disability and the school is not doing what it needs to do, please call the school justice line at 504-365-3006.
And the school justice line is such an awesome tool to have, so we can continue to get those stories. And we want to mention that the Justice Line is the project of the New Orleans Education Equity Roundtable. And so did you talk about all the things that's happening on night 3? Is there anything else that we need to talk about for night 3?
Well, absolutely. On night 3, each of the organizations that are going to be there, they're going to tell you what some of their current projects or campaigns are so that you can get involved with them. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel or create a new organization or anything like that, because we know that there are many organizations that are already working on various issues, such as the Southern Poverty Law Center, who's addressing the issues of children with disabilities not getting a free and appropriate public education. We know that the Juvenile Justice Project and FLIC, Friends and Families and Friends of Louisiana's Incarcerated Children, are often addressing issues of school discipline being implemented in unjust ways. The Urban League has been involved with giving parents information about how to get more engaged and involved in the schools. Plus, they have that really great college track program, so I think it'll be good for parents who have children going into high school. They can find out how they can connect with the Urban League so that their child can participate in that program. And VELA has been involved with language access issues out in New Orleans East. So, if you have a issue where a child is not getting the kinds of language services they need in the school, they can connect with VELA. And I already talked a little bit about the New Teachers Roundtable. So, all of these, and then Pyramid, of course, right. With Pyramid with, our workshops. So we do our workshops on positive behavior support, advocacy skills, and special education. Parents will be able to connect up with us. And so on that third night, it really is about joining together with organizations that are already doing some work around specific areas. So if you already identified what your concern was, let's say you were concerned about suspensions and expulsions, now you can really get with those folks from JJPL and even the Southern Poverty Law Center if it's around children with disabilities, and network with them about what they have coming up that you can be involved in. So many people say, I'm tired of going to meetings. We just need to do something. Well, let's do something. Mm-hmm. One of the things I've thought about is where we go legislatively with trying to get some educational justice, because many of the things we're dealing with is the result of Act 35. So, kind of bring it full circle. Kristen's going to talk about Act 35 on night one, but at the end of the day, there may be a need to amend Act 35. There's each year when the legislature meets, they make some little tweaks here and there to what's going on in public education. I know last year they passed that bill, kind of the reverse parent trigger, where a 51% of a school population can vote, parents can vote to have a school go back to its original authorizer if it's been in a recovery school district for a certain amount of time. So that's one little piece of legislation that hopefully will begin to reverse the track of schools going into the recovery school district, like going into the Roach Motel, where schools go in but they don't come out. I think we all remember that commercial from back in the day, right?
Right.
But when you think about the recovery school district, it's had certain schools for 7, almost 8 years, and they have not fixed not one school. They haven't turned a school around, those schools that are under their direct control. They close them or they give them away to charter operators. That is not the same as turning a school around or fixing a school. And, when you think that there are children in these schools, they've been in these schools for years, it's just there ought to be a way to get out of the recovery school district, because in many ways the recovery school district has become the status quo.
And as citizens, we have to hold the state accountable for those things.
Right, and citizens need to get involved with their legislators. I said this wasn't about starting a new organization, but there is some organizations out there like the Coalition for Community Schools that's a good way to get involved and maybe create a campaign to contact legislators to address a specific area of the failed reforms, such as schools staying in the recovery school district. That was done last year. I think it was Representative Wesley Bishop who introduced that legislation. But we may need to contact Representative Bishop or any of our representatives to let them know about some of the other concerns we have, and those concerns will be highlighted. I say on night one, but I'm sure each night, there will be an opportunity for people to let us know if there's something that they're concerned about and they don't see it up on the wall, because we'll have their concerns put up all around the room on the wall. And, if they don't see their concern up there, it'll be up there. And then by night 3, we'll be talking about solutions and how do we work together to get to those solutions. So it's going to be a really great event.
Right. And out of those solutions, that's really what you're hoping to achieve with School Justice Week.
Yeah, School Justice Week, it's really about solutions. We are not defenders of the status quo. We don't want to continue to see children languishing in failure. At the end of the day, we still have a large number of schools that are not serving children well. I mean, personally, I don't see that this is better. I know we had problems with the Orleans Parish School Board when it was in control, but now we have a situation where you can't you can't even put your hands on all the different problems. At least the school board met twice a month back before Katrina. You can go to the school board and let them know what your concerns are. You could hear the different things that they're voting on. There are over 40 different organizations in New Orleans operating schools. It's impossible for us to go to all of those charter board meetings. You know, some parents got kids in 3 different charter schools. It's impossible for them to go to the 3 charter board meetings of their own child's school.
That's absolutely correct. Once again, if you have concerns about the inequities regarding education, please call the School Justice Line at 504-365-3006. Karen, is there anything else that you think we need to mention? I guess we should mention again the dates.
Yes, that's what I was just getting ready to mention, the dates. The dates of School Justice Week is October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. We'll have an event each evening taking place from 6 until 8 p.m., and that's going to be at 2475 Canal Street in the first floor conference room. But it is very important that you call 504-365-3006 and register, because only those who have registered to attend will be able to attend, because we do have limited seating.
Do you have an estimate about how many people could be
Between 75 and 100 people can be accommodated at the space. And so we just want to make sure, and we're going to feed people each night. There'll be some light snacks there, so we want to make sure that we purchase the right amount of food based on the number of people who are coming. And we just want to make sure that we don't have people standing up and being uncomfortable. We do not have child care, so it may not be the best environment to bring little children, if they're, because this is almost a working meeting, basically, because people will be interacting. And so, again, just give us a call. If you have any questions about it, again, you can still call the School Justice Line.
Okay, and so remember to tune into our next show on Tuesday, October 22nd. Our topic will be autism. Also, if you have any concerns regarding your child with a disability and you would like to meet with us, please contact us on our Pyramid Helpline, which is 504-899-1505. And remember to follow us on Twitter at Pyramid CPRC, and like us on Facebook at Pyramid Community Parent Center. Thanks for your time.